incredibly shaky, right? Incredibly shaky. I know Lucasi's been there now just over a month and whatever, and we can talk about, is that, you know, arguably actually even enough time, right? Is that enough time? Yes or no, right? I think you say yes because actually that's quite a lot of time if you think about it. I mean, how many practices they've had between then, a lot of officials too as well, but I don't know, I was not convinced with them earlier, and I think for Monte, while you can maybe talk about the skill ceiling being a little bit higher over towards MIBR, Monte just look a little bit more in form in this, and of course, you know, on quote-unquote, you know, home soil in a way, I think they might have a little bit more to give. We will see, of course, we're into the best of threes as well, which we always like to see for those who missed it. Mirage, Anubis, and Ancient is going to be our canvas for this series.
Ooh, nice pickups here from Monte as they burst straight out on towards this A-bomb site. Reload coming in will cost the life, and it has been no contest. Insani, the first one to chime in, and he is the only one left. Could certainly take a few names here, make a bit of money, but the round itself surely not going to happen. They triple swing in and make sure that he is not long for this world.
Good work. You can't really complain. I think that's just a nice, simple pistol. Just sort of barrel in towards the site itself and just try and take fights as early as they can. And they all work out pretty well. And then even when the post bomb comes down, they make sure not to fight until the bomb has gone down and they're all ready to move there. So great work. Quite simple, I think, ultimately as well. And Insani's kills, you know, they don't make a difference. They don't make a dent in terms of the confidence of this side. So very good to see indeed. Hades and Demka both with doubles of their own. So important work, it has to be said, and it will give them a very comfy buy. We are going to see MIBR go for that force, though. You know, we already mentioned it. I'm not a huge fan of this. If it doesn't pay off, they're going to be in a bit of trouble financially for a while.
Feels a bit weird here. MIBR do have the members ready to make a move. Potentially through these smokes is what they're looking for. Flash comes over the top. It's a subtle move, in fact, to get Insani in there. The secondary flashes are much better, however, and maybe possibly regaining space if they had better weapons could have happened for them. Not quite the case here. A lot of damage done, though. The scout could get involved. He's all alone at the moment. Oh, my goodness. Tags landing left, right, and center. Can he get any more? The answer is no, but it was damn close, man. A few more bullets could have turned that one upside down. Not going to happen. Not the place to be for MIBR, unfortunately.
Yeah, not a lot of HP right at the tail end there, but ultimately doesn't make too big of a difference. This looks like a tech pause rather than a tack one, so a bit of a moment for us to have a conversation about what comes next for this side. It looks like a headset change from Aura, I think, is going to be the case. So yeah, that should be relatively quick. It gives us a chance to discuss this series as a whole, and I guess even looking towards the map pool a little bit too, right? I think particularly we have to look at how these opening two maps, they're the go-to picks, right, of the respective teams, so nice and simple. I think that, you know, Monte, their go-to insta-pick is Mirage. If it's open on the flip side as well, Anubis is there too. That Ancient is quite the interesting one, though. If we do go towards that third map, this starts to look, I would say, weighted over towards Monte. Despite MIBR looking quite good on Ancient and having a lot of success there, Monte are actually on a 7-map winning streak over there. So they've been looking very, very solid indeed. Demka looks, he looks very happy. He looks, he's dancing.
You're allowed to do that? I don't think he's allowed to dance in tech pauses.
Why not?
No, having fun in tech pauses, mate.
Yeah. I mean, could that be interpreted as
possible
visual conversation? You know, conversation without the words. You know, maybe that is Rush B. You know, like.
Okay, let's not actually get him in trouble.
You never know, guys. If we're on tech pause and we're not allowed to talk, if I start dancing, that means Rush B next. If Rush B this round, I'm just saying maybe the Prophet, but. Little headset change, and then we can get on the way. But yeah, with this veto, it does feel like each map in itself is sort of like they're guaranteed to take their own picks. Granted, that doesn't always happen, but it feels like they're sort of lock-ins there, and then we look towards that third map as quite an interesting one. MIBR been very successful on it, and I would argue successful against maybe a slightly higher caliber of opponents, because they do play a little bit more internationally. Whereas on the other side, Monte, 7-map winning streak, want to keep that win streak alive. So we shall see. Fresh trim for Hades too, it has to be said.
Yeah, man. I get haircuts.
Proud of you, mate.
Thanks. not like that though. I don't do haircuts like that. You know.
He's got the high skin fade.
Right, I see. It's been a while. I, used to back in the day, but now I'm a man, so I have to get something,
I get
clean and sort of. Yeah, I know, but you're like a little bit more of a lad or whatever. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
One
The
of the
vibe's
fellas.
not there. If I got like a high fade, that would.
If you rocked up
it'd
with a
look
skin
weird.
fade, it would be quite funny.
Yeah, exactly. Look a little weird. I used to do it though. I used to get half fade.
Half fade, all right,
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
I'm a mid skin fade. Not a lot off the top is normally.
Yeah, I usually say hide the hairline,
the quiff,
and that'll work for me.
Yeah.
So the priorities change as you get older, I suppose.
All you youngsters out there, you'll get there one day.
Yeah, watch out.
Yeah, it'll catch up on you quickly. Before you know it, you're like, hang on, where does it start? Where does it end?
Yeah. I'm working on it. All right, I'm working on it. Don't worry about it.
I will be soon, I'm sure.
Well,
I'm sure of it. Anyway, we should be underway, hopefully soonish. It does seem like the daps are up, so let's get this game back on the road. Nice start out, of course, for Monte. This one shouldn't be too much of a sweat off their back. I mean, this should be a pretty comfortable round. We've got one MP9 to really worry about in the hands of Drop, and that's about it. So, should be pretty simple, you'd hope. Can't underestimate these sort of rounds, especially with a bit of a stack over towards B. It is only one player here, though, for now, but they're splitting in. Lukowski got to keep his eyes trained. No, they overlook him. Does get one. Exit one of his own as well as safe will drop in for a third. Already into the 2 versus 2. The only thing that makes us a little bit more awkward, there's no recoverable guns here for MIBR. Unless Drop makes a move. He managed to get that AK. They might allow him to do so.
Oh, he's just crept in there as well. Krasnal took the peek towards short and they didn't see him. They'll still keep their eyes on it though, thankfully. He's done some decent damage onto one exit, unable to really join the fight. He was hoping Demka overstepped. Nice pre-aim, nice pre-fire. Gets rid of the window and nearly gets rid of Krasnal. Not quite. Goodness me, these rounds are coming awful close. Monte counting their lucky stars to have come away with that third.
Very true. Very, very true. That was a little bit uncomfortable for a brief moment there, but thankfully, they see it over the line. They don't have to worry too much about it. Maybe one that look back in the future, especially if the econ gets broken too, because they have to fully reinvest bar one Galil. It is going to take a lot of the change out of the back pockets for this side. But all that matters for them is they do have a buy. And they do still have some residual cash over there as well. It's not the end of the world there. The desk was leaning, pretty heavily in favor of MIBR, but we're both Monte here. These gun rounds will be a very good indicator. An exit for a double to start things off is not good for our predictions.
No, that is true. Guns come into play, exit steps up. One of the changes I think worth mentioning as well for this team is that, yes, we've had Lukowski come in. There's also been a bit of an IGL change recently within the team. Drop now leading things, exit was previously. So they've been, trying to make a few changes, very, very tentative, I suppose, and very practical about their changes. Not just moving players around, really trying to find a different method. It is keen from Kai. Oh, it's a nice find from Insani, though, as he's forced forwards. The Flames take him down eventually. But keeping the hopes alive here of a clean round. Looking very good. And the double swing for Drop as he will take him out.
Yeah, nice work. I think just really patient there from MIBR. Make sure there isn't a worry in that sense. Even if they've scaled up on towards the site itself, and even if they've got decent map control, just don't give them the chance to fight all that much. And here's what we said, right? First gun round, and because it was such a hefty reinvestment coming through for Monte, they are now in a little bit of the financial woes. Of course, they want min-loss bonus at 1.4. They don't have... They had good residual cash, but it's not enough for a full buy. They could be tempted with a force. And that would be, something the Brazilians obviously know all too well about. I don't know if that's something they've got kind of going to go up, but, up their sleeve. I feel like Monte might try and play this a little bit more patiently and just say, we've still got a 2-round buffer. We're still in a spot where we don't actually have to panic just yet. Maybe a little bit of a lowish buy, bit of a half buy, stick around 2K, full buy in towards the next, go right back at it. Not the greatest gun round, though, start things off, I think is the main thing.
Yeah, I mean, that is fair. And these slowdowns in play are going to be really awkward as well to just keep your momentum going.
For sure.
But we are indeed back into things. We'll see if Monte can, again, respond and create something effective here. What is the game plan? It just seems to be the old straight out Palace move. It has kind of worked with the presence in towards middle. They've actually gained a lot more space there than I thought they would. Still, no smokes, no flashes. It makes it difficult. They faked things out with a top mid smoke there, Neo, and sent a player downstairs into the underpass, try and draw attention. Unfortunately, just weaponry letting them down. Not really that much they could have done.
Exactly.
1 or 2 kills is always good, though.
And we come right back into the buy. I mean, it's still quite sensitive here because we, the first gun round, very clean for MIBR. If they go back-to-back in gun rounds and take them without breaking too much of a sweat, then we start to change the narrative a little bit. This is meant to be Monte's pick, and their kind of go-to map in their pool right now, and that will definitely start to feel a little awkward. It has to be said, it's not exactly a bad one in terms of it's played a hell of a lot by MIBR. Granted, they've really struggled in terms of success, but they play it a lot, so at least they've got reps there. That might be something that, with all these officials under their belt, despite it being a struggle in the past, they might have cleaned up recently and figured out this is where our errors are, and this is how we break down this sort of a Monte side. Towards mid-control, that already taken, and Sunny doesn't want to push too far forward, but this is a very strong mid-hold from MIBR. They've essentially got 4 players here, 2 via con, 1 window, 1 shore. A very heavy mid-presence shown. As they start to push forward, this could work against him. Lukowski trying to sneak past, and he might just sneak under as well. Oh, I love this, but Hades checks for it. A swing in towards short will cost Insania his life too, and the con player of Exit will fall. 1 by 1, the dominoes drop, and Monte, in that instance, the same way it was for MIBR first gun round, Monte in this gun round, patience is a virtue. Yeah,
really well played from them again to just feign some presence in towards mid, getting a lot deeper. You expected some of the positions to really work out from MIBR, and they too had seemingly found the gaps, but it was all a trap. Very well played from Monte, and that is going to be like that regional difference. That feels like a Monte round.
Yeah.
Get yourself into the positions and then just don't move. Usually mid is very telegraphed and important to get control of. You can see there's 4 blue crosses in at mid there. So MIBR really did put a lot of resources into it, but no success.
True. It hurt them. It won't hurt the investment towards the next round, which is, I guess, a bit of a fortune there, but still. Monte, good response, good reaction, only the 1 casualty too. All the positives that you want to talk about of building up a strong T side here. And with Mirage being statistically quite a CT-talented map, it's up there in the tally. If Monte can put up a pretty stable first half here, which they're already building, in all fairness, it does give you the opportunities and the chances to really make that CT side sing, and that's where Monte do a lot of their kind of best work as well. And, of course, MIBR on T side, while they're an aggressive side, and we know they've got some individuals who are pretty crisp. As we saw in that previous game, against Legacy, they really looked off the ball, and we haven't seen them kind of lock in just yet. Hence why we're still a little nervy about them, and it feels like Monte might have a slightly better chance. Granted, it wasn't exactly that they were fantastic against Pain, but at least it felt competitive.
Ooh,
shot.
Hades with the find on the edge of safe there. Wasn't really on his screen, but the scope, of course, lets him down. So Monte coming away with another first find. Hades, of course, a really difficult role at the moment. The IGL AWP is something that I think we've decided is not a good idea, but he is trying to make it work. Dihar catches Lukowski, also somewhat panicked with his move. MIBR looking uncomfortable here.
It's true. Opening couple of kills as well. Insani drop on X have got a lot to do. 2 different IGLs now on this side for MIBR to try and think and bail them out of this spot. Not easy though. Lose this round and then we are in financial woes. Nade around the corner, Molotov to respond as well. D is the one who kind of gets a bit of damage, doesn't deal all too much. The trade is nice. Krasnell falls, Hades finds that kill in response, and a very simple one. I think we've just got to save it. No questions about it. D doesn't even want to stick around that smoke. It's not even worth it. He knows that MIBR are not going to be able to give this one a go. The AWP is the only thing they'd be tempted to hunt, and now they do know where it is. That might start pushing them over for a bit of an A play here. Can they swarm? Can they surround? One towards jungle, one over towards shore, make a little bit of a play via CT. He could full swing here. And yeah, they are starting to wrap. And Tiny's going to be tested, that's for sure. As he got nothing. Demka, what a shot. He just knew, lined up, no AWP. And that's not recoverable either, I don't think. X is not going to take that risk, and he himself is also being hunted too. It might be dry swings, but, oh, it's actually Hades who falls to the bomb. in the end, Exit might still be in a bit of trouble, but he just about survives. Tucks his head, and they'll keep that alive as a bit of a silver lining, but yeah, ultimately very simple stuff from Monte. A little concerning, has to be said, from MIBR. I'm not convinced yet.
Yeah, we knew this was going to be tough coming into it, right? But there should still be a fight, I think, considering the way that MIBR have started the day off. It is sort of wild to think as well that their tournament life will be on the line in perhaps 2 maps of Counter-Strike played.
True.
So it's a lot of pressure if you are to get the reverse sweep, as I think Alan did say, yes, I'm leaning MIBR, but it will be in 3. So I would imagine the 2 that MIBR wins got to be Anubis and Ancient, right? Makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But you need to give yourself some building blocks to work with, you know, and good headspace moving into map number 2. If you get absolutely demolished here, then it is really, really, really scary because Anubis, Monte are big fans of it.
Agreed.
You know, and again, where do we look? What's their best map if you base on raw statistics? I would say at one point for some of these players, for this org, Anubis was out and out their best map.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that they really do have to be careful here, MIBR, with how they allow this assumed lost map to pan out.
Yeah, and once again, you know, it doesn't help that Ancient's the decider, Monte on that 7-map win streak. So that's also another one where they're very strong on too. I think it's safe to say, at least for me, the arguments feel that Monte have actually won the veto. I think that feels the big one. And it then comes down to the individuals in the server. Speaking of, one of them's got to step up here, drop up close around this smoke as well. He's waiting for a chance. But K will delete him. Nice shot from him. And a smoke down as well. That gives him the opportunity to cross. They know there was a player somewhere in and around stairs or con. But this feels like, once again, it might already be a bit of a done round. They're smoked out. Bomb going to go down momentarily. And yes, a 4v5 doesn't feel that big of a difference, but they have no real inroads here. They might just call it.
Yeah, very possible, right? Just hold on to what you have and no need to give it away. This is a round that you are definitely not expected to be winning, so it does indeed check out. Monte going through the motions, continue this really, really clean T side thus far. And MIBR not really giving us too much. I think you take a timeout here ahead of your next rival.
I agree. I'm with you. Bring Knack onto the mic again. He's already had a timeout earlier. Try and see what he can do. This has been very, very uncomfortable for now. I'm not enjoying what I'm seeing as well. You know, this is a side who just aren't getting the individuals online. They're not getting these moments to shine here. Lukowski finds himself 2 and 5. Save 3 and 5 too. I mean, all these feel really dicey, it has to be said. Exit's had a couple of moments. Insani maybe a couple himself, but I'm not convinced. It's the safe one to say for me, and I'm a little worried. Monte already up to 6. I'm pretty happy with 6 on C side, and the way they're playing, I very much doubt that'll be the last they get in this first half of play. So the issues that were plaguing them against Legacy seem to once again be arising here in the best of 3 that keeps them alive in this tournament. Nobody wants a day 1 elimination.
No, that is true, particularly at a challenger, I think, where it always feels like anything is possible. The format can be very intense.
Yeah, and they're the number 15th ranked team in the world
as well.
You're number 3 seeds, like, yeah. That would be where alarm bells really ring off for us and say, uh-oh.
All right, what are we doing here? It seems to be some ramp presence. MIBR trying to play with their front foot, and Monte are reading that. Monte are ready for some aggression to come in. They have sat back for a minute to just see if anyone does indeed go for a move. Late mid-control coming in here. No one around, right? So Monte do seem to have the upper hand in terms of the control, walking out through middle. What are they going to be able to find? The contingent coming from ramp, I think, will be pretty heavily kept at bay, to be honest. Utility over the top, flash goes in. It's got to be that Molotov down at some point. So the connector players, are they going to wait? Are they going to try and get the backstab here? Well, they're going to try and get the backstab, and my goodness gracious, there is absolutely no info from MIBR, it would seem. No one's even said, could be up connector. And it is somewhat of a shock. Lucasi finds 2, but it's not enough. And yeah, they looked completely unaware of Connector presence.
Yeah, and I think the big issue there as well, it was being held by the AWP, right? And then the AWP gets a call from the 2 ramp players and they say, right, flash us in towards ramp. We're going to pop around the corner. We're going to try and fight them up here and see whether there's any information to gain. So he then falls back, sets up for that flash over towards triple. And as he's setting up, I mean, it was all of a timing of about a second. In that timing, that's when they start to move up in towards top con. Really, really awkward stuff. And it does cost them their life. I mean, Safe, he was the one holding for that. He was the insurance policy in that, but it doesn't work out for them. It's a really awkward one to lose. And it once again gives another round towards Monte. 5-round buffer zone they hold at the moment. We're seeing, you know, we question him in a little bit in the sense of, can he do this role of the IGL and AWP? But he looks really clean at the moment. I mean, Hades, 11-6 out the gates. Just shy of 115 ADR. Nothing really that we can complain about at all. And smiles on his face too. Exactly what you want to see. And off the back of another MIBR attack pause, we still question so much. Sasuke on the arm. Match my jacket, in all fairness. I don't know if you watch anime, but...
Unfortunately, not really. Is it Naruto?
In Naruto, yeah.
Okay.
I've got
a
Katsuki jacket, and he's got.
I watched like Attack on Titan season 1.
Yeah, he's got. I think he's got Sasuke on one arm and Naruto on the other. I'm pretty sure.
Cool. His tattoos are pretty sick.
Yeah. So big ups with the Naruto love there. Even though I haven't seen it in years.
Well,
I watched it and I just, I finished it. I didn't
watch Galactic Football.
Yeah, way back. Remember? Did you ever watch Inazuma 11?
No, not
that was basically the next generation of Galactic Football. It was like 2-3 years on, they like made a different version of it.
I watched that on
Pokemon, that was a classic.
TV. Yeah, Pokemon, of course.
Yu-Gi-Oh! That was another one.
Tiny bit, not as much.
I think what else I watched back in the day. Arthur, throwback.
Okay, that's not anime, bro.
Throwback Arthur one time. Every day we were walking down the street.
Yeah, that's not anime though.
It's animated.
Okay.
Shout out to anybody who remembers the Go Arthur.
Oh my goodness.
What a show.
It's been a slow round, thankfully, and we have been waffling here, but Drop is holding a keen angle. He's by himself on the B-bomb site. A good find, a good time buyer. Ooh. They will get the trades back out, though, and Sani's made his way in towards the site quite quickly, gets caught by the AWP. I think he would have had that if that were a rifle player. Hades just not stopping. It's a tag and a bag in the end from Demka, all down to exit. Nothing he's going to be able to do, one would assume, trying to get a catch on the cross, but I think as this bomb goes down, he will indeed live up to his namesake and leave the market. So 8 rounds now for Monte.
Yeah, I mean, Hades relentless. I mean, so aggro with the AWP, but it's such a pleasure to see. Loving the fights that he's taking, so confident in his own ability, and it's working. The call is, it's fundamentally quite simple, right? And it relies on them just hitting their shots, and thankfully, they are. Hades, Krasnal, and Demka all having a moment to shine in that one. I think Hades in particular does super, super well. And like you mentioned, Exit is out of there. Keeps out of the M4, that's good. They got lost bonus, sure, but they're not in a good spot. We had a 10-2 in our previous match, and this one's kind of getting those same sort of vibes. I don't know. MIBR still look as troublesome as they did earlier. And I'm still very worried about them. That game against Legacy was not a good light that they were under. The lighting hasn't changed. Just the leg as well on towards that third. Yeah, brilliant work. Really, really solid stuff.
He's looking good, man. I think it could be a keen change-up. Of course, had that stint in Ents, which I think was you know, his sort of most famous move. And well, the sort of original Ents, if you're following me. And it was a bit early. It was a bit early, and I think he maybe had some personality issues, not necessarily with the rest of the team, but just with himself in terms of the confidence, in terms of, you know, bringing the best out of himself. But it does seem, especially since the Kato run, actually, that they have really turned things around as a bit of a core, and now leading, I think it's been very good for him, actually, to, you know, have some players behind him that do indeed believe, and that, you know, he doesn't play inside his own mind. Insani's had a nice shot as well to return things. Not quite the second time of asking. Drop spamming away, but couldn't find any kills, unfortunately. Couldn't deny them entrance to the bomb site. Safe and Insani, the only two that remain here. It is that half buy, so we'll probably see them having some presence, trying to get a couple more kills, take some guns away.
Ooh.
But this round in the grand scheme does not make too much of a difference, especially given they are going to lose it here. So yeah, it's all about this final one. Can they soften the blow, or is it going to be the steep comeback required by MIBR?
Flash over, which actually does more damage over towards K. It did give Insani an opportunity to go and fall away from that fight, but he actually goes back in for a double dip, which cost him his life. There was a little bit of a flank coming through from Safe. It was all just about the exit kills for him. Whether he can get any sort of an upgrade, it doesn't happen. So that'll be Monte up to 9, and there really just isn't too much of a competition in these rounds, is the really worrying thing. We're not even getting really close rounds, if we're being completely honest. They feel very one-sided in a micro sense of each individual round, but the macro sense of the half. And that for us is a really concerning factor. We are not getting enough out of MIBR, which is going to instill any confidence on us. And especially, you know, you already touched on it. The next map, while it is MIBR's pick, Monte don't mind it. They'll take it. The individuals are stepping up in the way they are. There's a lot to like for them in this series. Safe won't spot the cross. Now, with his pop shot as well, they'll know he's in towards window, so they can start scaling up forward.
That's a really nice nade to kick things off. Krasnal, though, he's gained a lot of space. Exit left reloading. They're not able to take him just yet, but they will clean him up with the Molotov, of course. K ready for the movement through the smoke. It's Dihar above the smoke who keeps it coming. A chaotic round here from Monte as they are really just rolling over MIBR to close out the half. Lukowski, presence now known, and he will be beat by 3. A hell of a half coming in from Monte. MIBR, we weren't expecting too much from them, and unfortunately, not getting it. We are back, and well, we might be finished awfully quick here if Monte have their way. 10-2 in the first half. One of those scorelines that we say wins the map before the second even gets going. MIBR, I think they have to run it back ever so slightly though, just make us believe into their pick of Anubis. We'll see a fake out towards A. Not been bought too hard. Krasnal still ready on the Julies, and yeah, just hard to pin down here. 3 found, all too easy, and drop. He was the faker, so his teammates have somewhat let him down. There's nothing coming here.
Yeah, good luck, mate. What are we even doing here? There's no armor to work with too, so this should be done in a matter of mere moments. What a shutdown by Krasnal. Didn't have too much of a look in towards that first half, in all fairness, but he only can face what's in front of him, and he came alive when it mattered most. Hades just trying to spot out, and he does. There we go. Has been spotted, and the swing and the fine. Krasnal so confident, and sees it off flawlessly. Super, super simple stuff. And worrying times for MIBR. They can't really even force him towards the next round, so this should be Monte taking map point, if we're being completely honest. MIBR, they might not even get at all a look in towards this map.
Yeah, man, which is just absolutely wild, to be honest with you. I think that we expected some competition here. MIBR, not a fantastic map for them, but they play it a lot, and again, you just should be putting up more more rounds than this. They have had a rough day of it, and yeah, very much worried for them now in the life cycle of Challenger Katowice.
They go for the force. This is all in, right? Lose this and that's it. They don't have any money in towards the next round.
Yeah.
It's do or die.
Yeah, this indeed is it. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, maybe on a scoreline like this, but all the same, they've got to give some kind of a result here, and it's just straight up connector for this one. Not happening at all. Barely any damage done, let alone kills. Safe down below has been heard there, I believe, so his days are numbered, and this round is over.
This is an incredible showing from Monte. There is absolutely no competition in this game. MIBR are on the brink of bombing out dead last. That's how bad things look right now. This has been a rough display. And, well, while Safe gets a dink, sure, it doesn't make a difference. That's map point over towards Monte on their map pick, and they have made it look so easy. There has, again, been little to no competition in this one. And a lot of question marks for us over towards MIBR. Can they respond on towards their map pick? I think is the main one, but with what we've seen so far, I've not got a lot of hope. I've not got enough to go off on LAN about this side having any sort of idea of how we're going to get in towards this. Anubis is not a bad map for Monte. And this series, the way it's playing out right now, it could be over before it even begins. You have a buy-in towards what potentially could be the final round. Double Galil, on Mac 10, double Deagle. For MIBR to try and stay alive.
Kai, spun down pretty heavily. Hades also melting here, so MIBR off to a pretty good start. Kai trying to find a return frag, and he will do so. Very well played here to stay alive and keep a bit of control of the site. Demka comes round to finish the game off, and that is going to be that. Goodness me. Incredibly, incredibly one-sided stuff. Monte, I think, impressing greatly, to be honest with you. Again, we expected good things from them on Mirage, but that is nigh on perfect game of Counter-Strike coming in from them, and exactly what they needed to kick off the elimination game, you know, to stay alive here.
Yeah, talk about a momentum booster, talk about a mood boost as well heading in towards Europe, but unfortunately we now very much so far the tournament know what their floor is like too. One being very low, the other being very high, but we haven't seen the highs of this side just yet, and Monte looked fantastic at map 1. So much to like there. So let's see. We're headed towards Anubis, and of course it will be Monte starting on that T side. So in many arguments, the more preferential side. And we'll see if they can build up the foundations as they did on Mirage here on T.
Slow creep up middle, good control gained. They will start to make some noise, ultimately, I think, because they hear the A-bomb site making noise. And now they have a lot of options available. It looks like they will wrap into B, which is just such a weird situation to deal with, but then they're not going to fully commit to that. Also keeping a player around, like, it's very, very confusing here. It seems like it's been bought into by MIBR. Really quite smart. right? In pistol rounds in particular, generally a lot of teams will make a play, choose a bomb site, dedicate to it, even with all the noise, because you're just like, we're a pack, we're clicking heads. But Monte have actually brought some methodology into this to discover a free A bomb site.
And it's completely the opposite of the T-side pistol round they did in Mirage. Mirage was a simple, let's just jump in towards the fights, let's back ourselves in the aim duels. I love this. This is a really good mid-round from Hades. He's gained a bit of information, but it's just off the information they've heard of MIBR rotating away. They're rotating back in via main. What have they got for us is the question. Drop. It'll be first contact as well as they start to barrel in towards the site. Hades good for the first, looking for more behind it as well. And they're slotting themselves into place, that's for sure. All down to 1. And Lekowski has 2 points of HP, so he is out of there. Julies and the armor. The raid boss in this one, but not doing much of it. Another super simple round for Monte. And Dia makes sure that nothing saved, nothing gained. Oh no, this could already start to spiral into the beginning of the end for MIBR with a near no-show at this tournament so far. Unless, I mean, you can just tell the vibes have got awful, aren't they?
Yeah, I think if we say vibes one more time, Sam's going to get very upset, but...
Vibes. Love you, Sam.
Oh, God. There you go. I hope they enjoyed that one backstage. All the same, worth noting here, something that's really key, I think. Monte get the choice of sides. They pick the T side.
Yeah, so, a lot of teams have actually been picking CT these days, isn't it?
Yeah, again, it comes back to like a comfortability. We had the same with Cobblestone when that was back in the pool. You know, CT side's harder to get going, economy, yada, yada, yada. There's a long list of reasons, but when you feel that maybe you are in control of the game, perhaps starting off on the T side allows you to dictate a few of those fights. That's what I always like to say, and I think that is exactly what they're going for. And now it is really going to pay dividends that you've picked up the pistol. You should get a boost of rounds, a good cushion to work with, and therefore control the engagements. So Monte, got to keep our eyes on them, what they opt to go for here, and whether there is a great deal of depth to this T side. Starting slow here, trying to bait out what little utility MIBR have got. Meanwhile, MIBR, they've stacked up B, so Monte got to be careful.
All presences here. This first fight could be quite interesting. Little labor from Krasnell as well. Needs the support. And the MAC-10 struggles against Drop. Jumping at B9 for a second. That might call off the B play.
Very possible. Very, very possible here. I think Monte are looking out of ideas, looking worried about flanks that are not coming. And they do not have a lot of time here. They've got nothing left. More utility on the low-bore MIBR right now. 2 flashes available, in fact. Lekowski going to be spotted. There goes one of the flashes. And unfortunately for MIBR, they lost their bottle. They bailed on this B bomb site. They tried to bolster both, and it has cost them in the end. Contact plays from Monte, fine success.
It's got to be quite a ballsy call, in a way, from Monte, just to stick there, right? I mean, it's so easy to say to them that they could have rotated away. When those dark players did fall, they could have just said, okay, right, let's go away. We know there's a bit of a stack here. Let's just try and beat them in the foot race towards A. They stick around. So it's audacious, but it works out well for them. And it will just mean just the MP9 and 5-7 saved over. There might be a chance of safe getting an upgrade here. There is a couple of Galils dropped in towards, or there's one in particular, dropped in towards Dark. So he might pick it up right at the tail end, or hoping that the kind of bomb explodes in his direction, maybe. No exit out his direction, so that'll be something he won't be getting. Monte take a 2-0 start, and probably should get a 3-0 start as well, because that was a force bite, and an unsuccessful one at that too.
Looking good. Maybe things will continue here as Monte, as we said a couple times on Mirage, pretty nice map for them. Anubis is not a punish. Monte actually doing pretty well map pool-wise at the moment, as we are, you know, a lot of tier 2 European teams have really started deepening those map pools. So it's tournaments like this where they may well be able to benefit. I believe Alan used the term top-heavy for the MIBR pool itself. And that is coming to a head. There's another keen start for Monte. Hades, really strong stuff from him there on the double spray down. Is there anything to come for MIBR? Again, it's an unexpected round, but when you are on a bit of weaponry, you expect something to happen here. Exit has dipped in behind. Good for 1, good for 2, but that should be all she wrote He'll take the AK. He might look to save it, in fact. With that bomb going down with multiple smokes around, there's not much that he can do, and he knows it at the same time. He's also acutely aware of the fact that he might be locked in. 3 kills and an AK save here. That's very good damage.
Yeah, it's not bad. They might still hunt, though. If they're moving towards water, that MAC-10 might just go all the way around towards stairs. So Krasnal going to at least try and have a look in to see if he can get that AK back, and he might get a chance. Only 2 points of HP for exit. Just 1 bullet from the MAC-10 will be enough, and there it is. So again, another issue where it's sort of nothing saved out for MIBR, so they don't even get the silver lining. But it's better in the sense that we at least saw a few kills come through from exit. It's better than nothing, I think, is ultimately all that we care about. 3 in total, but still is 3-0 down. Monte, in the same vein that we saw on Talk Mirage, we're just not seeing them look really by any means uncomfortable yet. And MIBR, his first gun round does need to go well, but the issue is that we saw their first gun round went well in Mirage, and then it was a flash in the pan. That was it. We need to see consistency out from them. We just haven't seen that for this MIBR side.
No, it is very true, man. There's got to be a change up here. And yeah, it needs to be a version of MIBR that we've just not seen today at all. So, has to begin now.
Oh.
That's
nice.
Lucky for one, unlucky for the other. Safe up on the angle, able to bait them in. He maybe could have left click there, but didn't. He's now trying to follow the traces. Got to be careful not to lose his own life. Nearly does go down. The nades as well, desperately attempted by Monte, but nothing coming.
And it looks like they're going to cancel a lurk smoke as well. Just in towards A, just to keep them there. Keep some attention drawn in that direction. But for now, all goes quiet. And this is what Monte do like to do in the mid to late round, especially if things don't go well for them. Call a pause, see if anybody overextends. I like this, though. K's making a move. He should get the drop on one. Exit might be in a bit of trouble here. He's biding his time, waiting for a bit of a play. X is still not showing. His backpack is not betrayed him just yet, but K will eventually pounce. 4-1. Another to come through as well. And safe, with him being so low, he'll definitely think twice about fighting. And they might even think twice about giving this round a go. What a recovery from Monte again.
I think they just feel so allowed to do whatever they want. You know what I mean? Like, there's some very wild plays coming in the early stages of Anubis here. But again, it is simple in the way that they're doing it. Yes, it might not go with the conventions and the general rules of engagement, but they're like, why don't we just send a player in, see what he can find? Why not?
True.
You know, like, they are very, very loose in terms of the decision making, and it is working really well. And, you know, it is this plane that you get to where you're just so secure in the moves that you're making. Yeah. Right? And everyone in the team so secure of like, yeah, go for it. That'll work. I know this guy's good. So really seems to be no trouble right now in the Monte camp.
Worrying times, for sure. And like we say, just quite a few forlorn faces over there. Starts quite well. I think Safe sticks around with that Molotov a little too long, so it makes him quite nervy to fight in the second chance. And maybe even the second he takes a bit of a, you know, a tick to the molly, just completely dips away. He probably would have been safe bar a lucky shot for the smoke. Look at this, though. They're trying to go quick. And it actually works out well. And standing on the swing, Hades just didn't expect that level of aggression. And D him out of a Molotov. That's already good map control out towards B. That's better.
That is much more like it, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the previous round, because of the context of where we're at, you're 5v4 early on, you've got to win it.
Yes.
Yes, it's not like absolutely should be won, etc. But they have to win it for just their own peace of mind, if nothing else. So this is really good to see that they lose the previous, it's a bit difficult, and then into this one they move fast. They are not being put down here. Monte have got to try and reapproach things now.
Dia just a little cautious of the flank all the way via their spawn. And understandable as well, they didn't re-aggress on that B main control. They don't know yet, but MIBR didn't push out. They got their opening fight, they fell away, which is the perfect way to play it too. And Insani abides by Bogdan's law as he'll wield the orb. Safe given the rifle. We are going back towards B, and they've had success here. Another smoke to meet them will slow them down, though, so that's going to make it a little bit more awkward on this execute. They're really not going to have a hell of a lot of time to even clear this. But that'll work.
Another creative move from Monte. Boost over the smoke, catching a player unaware. So it will be the lowest HP player, I suppose, is the only saving grace for MIBR. Everybody else at full strength. Lucalzi in for one, another as well, but traded out. 2 versus 2 here. DR, he's got the right idea, 9 HP, but unfortunately timing gets the better of him. And Krasnal can't get off the bomb fast enough, so they get the plant, but MIBR, they get there first.
Exactly, finally, right? It may be something we can build off as well. We do need to see an elusive word, right? Consistency out for this side. AK and an ult picked up, just trying to scoop up the rest of the util as well. And of course for the kit on that defuse. So MIBR will get a first round. That's better than nothing and maybe something they can work with going forward, but I'm still not convinced just yet. I feel for Monte, you know, that might be just a little bit of a blip, but they might just go right back to winning ways as they did on Mirage. The same thing happened. MIBR converted the gun round and it looked like we were saying, okay, maybe MIBR are back, right? They just need to get the guns out and things fell apart very quickly, ending in that 10-2 half. It could be more of the same here. That's good, at least on the retake. And it is a bit of a sigh of relief, quite a big sigh of relief as well, but I think MIBR know more than most the task that's ahead of them. They've really got to do something quite miraculous. An attack pause to be called here. Looks like a bit of a moment of respite. An opportunity, of course, for the coaches to enter in towards the fray. But I don't really feel like Nora has to say a hell of a lot here. I mean, there's not been any concerning signs at the moment.
No, definitely not awful, right? I do feel, though, Monte want to stay on top of this, and you have to use this as a springboard. You're still in the lower bracket. Yes, the series might be going well for you, but it can't be an isolated surge of energy. Nice nade damage onto Lucalzi to kick things off. Krasnal takes a lot back, however, so tit for tat. No kills yet. Monte bailing on the idea of B.
Yeah, and with Krasnal low, that sort of insurance policy through water, now a little bit nullified. Of course, both sides don't know how much damage they've done in that early engagement with the nades, but pretty notable. Moving the way forward, they've done this before. There's contact playing towards mid. The flash a little late, and actually now Drop is there, ready for the fight. The second there's a bit of contact, Safe throws a flash of his own, and look how many assists. 3 different assists there from him. Really great work from the AWPer.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. MIBR coming into their own potentially. Safe holding an off angle here. Not going to be met. But they, of course, have got that bomb down pat. It is all onto the 2. Krasnal does actually find the head of Safe eventually. They seem aware of the AWP. Ooh, swing comes in. It's just out of the FOV of Hades' scope. Could have been an opportunity for him, but not going to happen. 20 seconds left. We will save here on the Monte end. So MIBR closed the gap, but in terms of the mathematics, more rifle rounds now for them.
It's true, yeah. I'm not fully sold just yet, but it's better than nothing. Better than what we saw in towards Mirage. At the very least, we've put a bit of a stopgap as well in towards this Monte side, but they actually can't really kind of comfortably buy in towards the next. They might still end up going for a buy regardless. Krasnal's in double eco. Hades is not exactly far off it. But I think this is the sort of round where you might be tempted just to kind of full buy in and just to reset the econ rather than going for kind of 3 people saving and then 2 of them having really awkward econ in towards the next round. So they might even try and just full buy around this. But we are going to have a bit of a talk before that to make a decision. I think generally most teams, especially because it's 3 people who are in that decision, in that kind of position, I feel like you do probably end up just buying here. Going towards the likes of Tech-9s, armor, a bit of util, and then try and shuffle that one rifle over when someone falls, next person picks up. Same with the AWP as well, and just hope you get a bit of chance. Isolate a couple of fights, maybe drop one of the MIBR rifles, maybe have something to work with, but that's a little bit of a hope. This is a good chance as well for MIBR to close the gap. If we do force buy here for Monte and we lose it, game should get tied up 4 rounds apiece.
Well,
not forcing though, in all fairness.
Yeah, something going on. Something going on.
So Krasnal dropped pistols.
Full naded and dropped to the.
He dropped a pistol, I think. I think I saw him drop P250.
Yeah, well, it's got to be, unless he smoked super early.
Yeah.
Which he may well have done towards mid. I think he just went in for a full belt of nades.
Oh, well, that lasted.
Unfortunate. Complete waste of money.
At least the gun's picked up.
I guess, but yeah, he spent all his cash.
Yes, he did.
So that's not gone well. It's not gone well, but still recoverable here in a sense. If Monte can thread the needle for a first frag, Lukowski getting greedy will find another. Spots out a few more. Beautiful timing. And so the AWP is the only scary thing that remains. He's missed a shot. Lukowski's feeling confident. Hades will take him. But surely enough damage has been done here.
Molotov in towards mid. 2 versus 4. It feels unwinnable for Monte. I mean, Demka's not even got armor, so surely unwinnable. Any sort of aim punch and he's going to have no chance in a fight. A lot of leeway on the shoulders of Hades here. And he's only got 52 points of HP. One tag to the head with any of those M4s and he's gone. This feels unlikely. 30 seconds and an A hit. And 2 players here to meet them. Exit and drop ready for the fight. But it doesn't go well for Exit.
Drop hidden away, however, if he plays it patiently, surely she'll be able to get the catch. He's given them a lot of space. A lot of space. Still does find the kill, all down to Hades. Oh, the no-scope lands! He can't get away in time. He has left his mark on the round, however, an MIBR, it is not going to be as easy as it seems.
That was close. That was close indeed. And another one of those rounds that feels like a bit of a sigh of relief towards MIBR. Hades has nearly pulled off something absolutely miraculous. That no-scope, not bad. The first shot, pretty solid too. Close but no cigar, and it will be now a buy back in of some regards. But yeah, here's where we see it take its toll. Krasnal, only the Mach 10, double Galil, and a double AK. Galil's not bad though, of course, so it doesn't feel like it's that big of a hit. Important though, MIBR on the brink of tying this game up. Missed AWP shot, great flash from Hades.
Okay, charging forwards here. Another find as drop was ready for him, but yeah, the AK may be just the better weapon in that situation. It's the game, unfortunately. K is just running rampant right now. In behind B, has given them the space here. I think he knows, having heard steps or maybe seen him, that Insani is towards dark. So they have control of that B bomb site. Demka also has an idea. Oh my goodness, looks away at the worst possible time. But they're already saving, so it doesn't matter too much. Monte are back on the board and they will hold their lead.
Yeah, and it's not even like gun upgrade either. It was the Galil, so they don't even really care. Monte losing, Demka in that spot. This round's won and done by K. Great work from him. Just holding W. That second fight he should never get away with. No two ways about it. He should be dying every day of the week. I felt like he just caught them off guard, but it's weird that he did because they surely heard the steps all the way. So, bit odd there in that spot, but Monte keep the lead. It felt like they were on the brink of this game being tied up, and not even just tied up as well. They lost this one. Obviously, no long-term econ, so it probably would have been MIBR taking a lead. Now, not to be. So, 2-round buffer zone builds up once again. We do have money in reserves as well for MIBR, but the level of buy is going to be the question mark. Exit can buy, sure. Insanity has a bit of funds to work with, just shy of 3K, so he can drop one over as well. So we can squeeze out something here. Somebody might have to take a hit if they want all across the board full belt to Util. But at the moment, it feels like Util isn't really making the difference. It just feels like the individuals. Really great work. And there we go. Double FAMAS has to come through. Now Safe goes in towards the Molly in the smoke. Lukowski's got a nade on top of that. Keep an eye on it as well. Insani's the only... Oh no, Insani and drop. Got to kid a piece. If they fall, makes the retake a little harder, but good start for Exit.
Yeah, K trying to go for the same thing as last round.
I respect it.
You never know. You never know. But it has, of course, left them a man down.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It did break off the one round, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. There's some logic there. Not much, but it's there. Ooh, flash not good enough.
Not deep, yeah.
Demka will punish. Looking for another. Molotov backed up by the nade. He actually takes the aggressive fight. Ooh. Respect on that. It's the double. He's still alive as well. And he gets away. So, yeah, alrighty drop. That is not what I expected, to be honest, when I saw that utility coming in.
Shot. It's not over yet. Not with drop being so low. Not with D his control here. And a slight inkling that there could be a flank. Exit and drop both low. And not loads of time, but enough. 40 seconds or just shy of.
Late A main push. Is it necessarily needed? The two low HP players could easily fall to the hands of Krasnal. He is just allowing them in, waiting for his teammate to cook at the end of the day. And Dihar might not expect presence towards the A main side of things, but it has been considered. And it is the tiniest little bit around this pillar. Can the bomb be stopped? He's got to be careful with hesitating here. He just makes it in barely any time. So absolutely imperative that he did indeed avoid the crosshairs of drop. And they're like, where the hell are the A players? They've read this really well. Dihar getting another knows that it's like, there's got to be someone around. Did we miss them? Like, they were definitely on A. I've come from middle. So where the hell did they go? Lukowski, though, is the third man in from the main position. He, too, will be watched for and found out. Not going to happen for him. He does not fancy it. Picks up an AK and drops back. Monte, against the odds.
Yeah.
Dihar, in particular, winning that one out.
What a round from Dihar. It does so well. So damn well in that spot. In through mid, it's such an uncomfortable position to go alone in. He's got no support to you. So the first fight when he's swinging onto his camera is excellent. And after that, the player just spots just his backpack by the smallest couple of pixels, but it's enough. And it will be MIBR calling attack pause. We've just seen the coach indicate. Because once again, Monte spiraling. 2 big rounds in a row, both of which probably shouldn't have gone their way as well. But they've made numbers in advantage situations stick. And these are now getting to the point where it's starting to feel like inexcusable rounds are being won here for this Monte side, and we are still left questioning what is going wrong over towards MIBR. Well, the answer is absolutely everything, ultimately, but this is an uncomfortable spot that they're in, because they are really running out of chances here. You're already up to 6. I mean, Monte are 7 rounds away from eliminating these MIBR guys on day 1. It's a long trip there to Kato and a long trip back, and especially after this sort of a tournament, that's not, you know, not a plane ride I want to be on.
No, sir. Going to be a tough one here, of course. MIBR on the half buy. Potentially could have gone for something, actually.
It's true.
Opted not to do so.
Don't want to risk it, I guess.
Yeah,
maybe this is the time to risk, you know what I mean? When we've got not a lot to lose at this point.
Yeah, if they had kind of the balls to go for it, but I think a lot of players, a lot of teams like to play things by the book, by the percentages, so give themselves a better chance into the next. It really is ignoring the scoreline at the top and just playing the rounds out as they come. Exit.
Uh-oh.
Ready with the smoke. He takes his eyes off for a second, and that was indeed literally the worst second to do it. I don't think it could have been any harder for him there. So, you know, got to feel for him in a sense. With that coming in, with the fact that the entire Monte attack made its way in after that kill, they're just going to save.
I don't blame them. They've got an AK. They've got armor, 1 drop, 2, and a deagle in the back pocket of Insani. I just think keep hold of these. There's just nothing we're really going to gain. At the very most, if you wanted to, you could keep safe around and just see if the USPS, you know, such a minimal investment, see if he gets anything, but it's not going to make a grand difference. Monte going to guarantee a lead heading in towards that second half. This T side is already looking good, and you know, we said for Monte, a lot of teams, even though this is the only T-sided map in the pool, a lot of teams actually just pick into the comfortability of CT these days because it's just what they used to, is where they build up a lot of the rounds in other maps, and it's where they have all their protocols. But if this is what we're seeing from them on the T side, we know Monte favor this map quite a lot. It's a big part of their pool, and it's obviously showing at the moment. Worrying times for MIBR. That was a low buy, sure, so I guess we don't read into it too heavily, but they're really running out of chances for me. I don't know what they've got left in locker. Penultimate round of the half. I mean, Monte have the chance of 9 in this half. That would surely be game, set, and match already.
Yeah, I think so. Early B smoke down. They are trying to make a play around it. And they've done well to get in. We'll see whether they can pick up the frags. Insani, the flames too bright for him to deal with. Drop does get one on the break, but can they do any more with it? Bomb is going to be planted, not rushed just yet, though. They have that space to work with. Drop trying to creep around. play around this smoke. Another break of it, but just can't find the kill. Man alive, they're so inconsistent, those types of plays, to be honest with you. They did need something desperate. First one worked, second one didn't, and MIBR, the remainder will save.
Absolutely nothing is going right for MIBR. The early rounds are, unfortunately quite awful, and it gives them no opportunity to mid or late round in these spots. They don't get chances to try and call for a freeze and kind of recover and recoup their losses. No, they just get no rest in this game. Monte are doing so well. Up to 8 now. At the very least, Safe can drop over a couple as he kept his AWP alive, and, well, the unused Utah on that spence, but I don't know, the mental, it seems absolutely boomed over towards his MIBR side. It feels like there's absolutely nothing in the tank. Running on fumes. And unfortunately, it feels like we're just waiting for the inevitable. Monte see off this map, see off the series, and eliminate MIBR because they are just not showing up. And Sunny, that alone is the vibes of MIBR. 8-3. Like mentioned, we do get that buy because of the loss bonus, because of the money left in reserves, but buys have not made a difference for MIBR, unfortunately. They're just not in this game.
Yeah, maybe a flip over will make a difference. We'll see if they can pick up the final round here as well. Just give themselves a slight leg up. Nade does finish off drop. Safe, though, on the edge of the smoke, is able to keep that man advantage. Hades and Diha, the dynamic duo going way back, will regain the lead here. And, of course, crack open that B-bomb side. The one big thing is the fact that the bomb was in an awkward spot. Yeah, Safe just didn't know how good he had it.
Just didn't expect him on his own. Exit. 1v3. If ever there was a time, something to go right for MIBR, it would be here and now. And unfortunately, throughout this game, throughout this tournament, they've just had so many opportunities, just haven't been converted. That's a nice shot, though. An uncharacteristic miss there from Hades. Demko will pick up the AWP. And 1v2, not exactly impossible here for Exit. Will it make a difference in the grand scheme of things? Who knows, but maybe a bit of a confidence booster before heading into the halftime break is better than nothing. Diha, other ideas. 9-3 at the half. MIBR on the brink of being eliminated here. Monte on the brink of a 2-0. We'll see you all after the break.
wrong or right. You've been doing things you never thought you'd do. Taking it day by day. It seems like you lost your way. Even when you win, it still feels like you lose. I wish that you could see what I see. Your soul is stronger than what you need. No secrets if you do what you dream. I guess.
Welcome back in, folks. Once again, looking down the barrel of another quick finish. Monte have absolutely dismantled MIBR thus far in this series. Maybe this will be different as they move on to the favorable T side. 1-for-1 towards mid. What are they planning here? Nice little bait out. Okay, doesn't really check his angles, and with that, they actually feel confident for an A play.
Oh, nice double dink there as well. I mean, Hades does get one. Demka's still around. It's not impossible. 2 versus 3, but he's going to completely fall away. He just gives it up.
I think with the smoke over on B, yes, it's now just faded, but they're like, I don't know, man. We've seen lone players still not got an eye on the bomb. MIBR really playing this by ear. There's not necessarily a set structure to this round. They do take their time to get the bomb down, though. So by the time it does, at the very least, Monte will be prepped and ready. It all just depends on checking their angles. Lucasi's going to hear not 1, but 2 underneath him. Should be able to get the drop. He does indeed. What are they going to do here, though? They have to ultimately ignore him. He knows that, so he's already moving away. A weird kind of game state here for Monte to deal with, for sure. Julie's out for D-Heart. Had a great game thus far. Good to see him sort of rolling it back, but not in this round he won't. They're going to save. They're going to hand it across to MIBR.
Yeah, I do actually like the call. They just don't have the time. They don't have a kit, so I just don't think it's even worth giving it a go. Keep hold of the Julies. Keep hold of the armor, I guess, for Dia. He hasn't taken any damage, so I don't think they really had a chance there. I think it's a decision they didn't want to make, but kind of sort of reluctantly had to be like, yep, sure, let's just pull away from this. MIBR, good, slightly weird mid-rounding, but it ends up working out well for them. I think the big kill there is Exit. Exit who catches K running out of A main. That's the big one that basically wins on the round. I think K just gets just a little angsty. He's like, right, you know, smoke down towards B. I've got to run. I've got to go support them. We've got to have the numbers advantage. And if he just, you know, pumped the brakes for even like 5 seconds, he might have even catched, or caught, may I say. Exit dropping down. Not to be. Head on towards the smoke. No one behind it. We do have a bit of a buy to work with, in all fairness, on Monte. A bit rare. See them into the force buys. Don't often do it, but I guess with the armor saved, D has now got head armor too. They might try and get this a go. Flying around the corner. 1-for-1, but trades benefit quite drastically the T side there.
Still presence. Exit. He lands his shots, however. I thought maybe he would overlook the fact and not consider like 2 more to be there, but he really does well to keep us cool. Just going to be Hades remaining. As we love to say, the CT force buys struggle to find success. They really do. It seems like a lot more teams as well lean into it on LAN, because I think they feel like, you know, the connection's been
Yeah, exactly. Like he can't hear us or something like that. Maybe in like an arena environment, I can sort of understand it. But yeah, didn't work out here. 5-7, we'll get one, which at the very least is something. He's going to go for the gun, and that'll cost him his life. So all for nothing there in that spot. MIBR fine 5. And the way that, you know, CS2 sort of works in these days, even though it didn't feel, you know, a 9-3 feels like such a massive deficit, but you get a pistol, you get a force, you're going to get a freebie in this next round. You can close that gap quickly. It basically puts it all down to 1 or 2 gun rounds. Anything like a 9-3 is why we always say 8-4 is very workable. You get a pistol round, you're absolutely on in this game. And even 9-3, you have to be a little bit cautious about, I think, is the main thing.
Couple flashes over here for Monte. Lucasi playing a good angle, however. Nade explodes a bit too high. The idea was there. I think, you know, it's one of those low release jump nades, but he didn't quite get it. Either way, they know what's up. They know what's up, right? And they can play this safe. They can, again, dedicate the bomb. sort of dry running the execute. Maybe didn't spot every single player on that B push, but Lukowski's got a good idea, and you know he's hearing more and more footsteps now. A bomb site clear, so will be an MIBR round. It just depends at what cost it comes. Safe holding strong, loses his head. This is where we look for any more. Not going to happen. So dropping a Galil, all good really, not the end of the world. We'll see now. Monte, they have been waiting for an opportunity to get the guns out. It's taken some time. MIBR have indeed closed the gap, but this is the big turning point if MIBR can take it.
It's true. Up out in play, both sides. And the big one here, if Monte lose this, this game is absolutely back on the cards. However, if MIBR lose it, it might go back to us talking about the beginning of the end. That'll be Monte in towards double digits. There's still funds left over, of course, for MIBR, but it's just about the momentum. And if guns start to look good for Monte on this CT, it might be over before it even really begins. Insani might get popped through here. No, he's actually going for a contact play, and nobody there to meet him. Hades playing a little passive, and just as Insani's making that move in through mid, he dips away over towards B. So this gives Insani all the room to work with. Now, heading towards connector, K will spot him for sure. But what he does in this spot is the big question. Molotov will come down. They're not going to opt to go through it, but now they can stop the flank, and here's where Hades can potentially step up a little bit. Does eat the flash. He sticks around a bit for the fight, though.
Okay, set up and ready. Demka also in a good position. I like it. I do like it. Shoulder spotted of at least one. Molotov forces K into the fight, but Demka is there to trade him out. Can't keep any more going. Even situation, not bad for the CT side, but it is that time, of course, that's bought. Hades can't do much. He's the first man here, but he's got the AWP in hand. You know, can't just go flying in to try and isolate a fight or two, but he's crept forward. Safe gives no credence to the angle at all, and now things look very good indeed. Insani's in a great spot, but he's got low ammunition. This is not going to be easy. Exit's got it covered on the side, and Insani doing a great job here of just drawing them in. They're savvy to it, but there it is. He ran out of ammo. Dihar wasn't even looking at him. Probably could have held mouse one to find that final kill. It's unfortunate for MIBR, but look on the side of Monte.
And he just had no opportunity to reload as well. And the big thing, and of course, MIBR wouldn't have known this until it was too late, but there's no kit. Monte had no kit, so if they just bought a little bit more time, if they just played a little bit more passive, of course, Insani was sort of, he was dead to rights there. He was in no man's land. But over towards back pillar, if we're just staying alive in that spot, we actually have a chance there. And they just need an exit to buy a little bit more time, just to be a bit of a nuisance. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. I've got to question Safe as well, what he's doing crossing like that.
Yeah.
Surely we've got to expect somebody nearby, but he just has absolutely no clue.
Risky. It's just dangerous. I think he knows that it's kind of likely, but he's taken a chance on the fact that there's no one there, right?
And it's costly, ultimately.
I mean, lazy kind of play, isn't it, for a high-level Counter-Strike player?
Yeah, and it means no open towards this round too, right? So, tough, to say the least. Good round, though, for Monte to take. Flash, ineffective, but drop is.
Keen find. Sometimes the flash is just the confidence. Doesn't necessarily have to work. K holding, jump spotting. Not much there. I don't know. I was going to say the energy from Monte just doesn't seem to have picked up, so they're immediately saving. MIBR will get back on the board, and tension begins again here now.
It's true. 10-7. Demka will have a buy in towards the next. Hades can drop him over something. We can drop him a rifle, so it'll be fine. If more fall, though, it will be maybe a bit of a difference. Flashbang over. Trying to see if there's any more behind it. Now Krasnol's fallen. It'll slightly change things. A lot of flashes around that corner. Dia fighting for his life as well. It's a bit awkward. Very awkward indeed, actually. The rifle probably needs to do a lot of the legwork here, if we're being completely honest. Peek around the corner. Could get tunnel vision. Could get tunnel vision. Could die. Everyone falls. What a hunt. What a hunt by MIBR. That's actually a big call right at the end there. Just to get right in towards the fight. I really like that. They could have easily just given them that and just said, right, they've gone for a save early. Let's build up our long-term econ, because there's not a lot of funds left over for MIBR. I mean, they have, you know, everyone's just shy of 2K, so not exactly super stable. They could have very easily just said, right, we'll just exit safely. We know that they've gone for a save, nice and simple. But they hunt them all the way down, nothing saved. And that is actually quite big. This changes the landscape a little bit now. It's becoming a considerably closer game on the cards. And so we see that pause come through. MIBR, they're chipping away at this deficit. We're very close now.
This is where it comes in, man. The battle of the IGLs, really. Two very young IGLs as well. So what do we have to draw on? What kind of voices are getting active? Something that in the 9 days for some of these Monte players, I think they were really, really rough on closing games out and losing in overtimes and whatnot. That seems to be something that's sort of stuck with them, not as egregiously, but definitely still here. And Hades, he often struggled with the mental game, so maybe this is going to be a remnant of that. Still room, not expected to do too much in this round itself, but it's getting tense, it's getting close. 2 rounds in it.
Yeah, it is. It's getting a little bit uncomfortable. This game might be far from over. We might still have a little bit of life left in MIBR, yeah, on their map pick. Coming alive on the T side, and of course, this is a T-sided map, so I guess not the most surprising in that sense, but it just felt off the back of that first series, the first best of 1 they had, then the first map of that 13-2 on Mirage. It just felt like there was going to be a complete no-show from MIBR this tournament. At least they're buying themselves a bit of time here. At least we've seen something that they can, even if worst case they were to go home, they can say, okay, if we had played a little bit more like we did on Anubis, might have done a better tournament. Back into the buy, of course, for Monte. Orb, out as well for Hades. You two a little bit thin, though, as they start to exit on towards the site. I mean, he'll get the first. 1 for Krasnal, 1 for K. Hades comes alive, 1 of his own as well, and it falls apart.
MIBR trying to go for the old trick of, you know, pushing, pressing the attack, but it doesn't work out for them. The important round, often you expect teams to really draw it out and try and find an early pickup and then wait for, but they have, you know, thrown the book out of the window. Unfortunately, Monte very much set up for that. I think they were initially caught off, but the responsive utility was a bit too effective, and MIBR couldn't make it work.
It's true. It feels like a very lackadaisical call, it has to be said. Very loose, hoping that they can just get the individuals online, and everything just falls apart there in that spot. Not what you want to see, not at all. And Monte once again back into that 3-round buffer zone, and now only 2 more rounds to close it out to. Getting there bit by bit, moment by moment, and a lot of worrying signs have been shown. Where it's just for MIBR, even though they have chipped away at the deficit, even though they've made this a closer game, it's do they actually have it in them to be able to make this a map in their favor, push it towards that Ancient? I'm not convinced just yet. Plenty of money left in reserve, sure. But it's never really been about the buys for MIBR. It's been about what's going on in terms of their calls in the server. And that's another one where I'm not a huge fan of that call. Doesn't work out. And of course, it's easy to say in hindsight, but it just looked very, very loose for sort of no reason. And there was no need. It wasn't even one of those rounds where you say, okay, this is a tempo change and they're going quick. It was just like 3 different fights taken as individuals with 0 trades.
Yeah, it didn't seem like they were necessarily on the same page. I think you are correct. Not a great look. MIBR battling for survival once again then, after we'd started to give them some hope, right? And, you know, I think that is something that we at the very least have to keep alive for these teams. Safe to open up. A quick round once again, this time towards mid. Demka incredibly blind, not hidden away at all there. He does, as it fades away, have a chance to fight, but able to find success. So this is going to be a safe situation if they even get a chance at that. Really well responded here from MIBR.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, again, a quicker call off the back of it. And another one where we have to say, what has gone wrong in that spot? But for Monte at the very least, still got room to work with here. As long as these do save as well, I think they should be fine. The double AK you want to keep alive. Krasnal knows as well. He's heard the steps close. Flash going to come through. That'll catch him. He's holding down Mouse 1. He's dead man to rights, though. But down he goes. And the only man saved will be D here. I think he'll be given that luxury at the very least. He won't be able to recover the AWP. That was over towards main. But he keeps the AK alive, so he's got that at least going for him. But yeah, a bit of a tough one, has to be said. And once again, maybe that conversation about taking this map, or at least, you know, pushing towards overtime, is still open. It does have to be said. I mean, the A hold, it seems to be the real weakness over towards Monte primarily. The B hold seems fine.
Yeah.
A is where the gaps are opening up.
No, it is true. It is true. And there does seem to be difficulty with where to put the resources, really. You know, you saw it in the previous round. Some of the protocol utility was out of place for Monte.
Yeah.
And a lack of confidence in mid once again. K has dropped back, drawing upon Hades. The cross to be watched. Hades finds good timing. That is a very confident peak in what is the most important round of the game thus far. K and Demka set up and ready. It's a rinse and repeat of the previous round, but this time Monte have adjusted, much more ready for it. Lukowski's 1-for-1 is not going to be enough. Exit is all alone. He's tried to throw them off the scent towards A main, but he's got 4 to get through here, a bomb to recover.
Yeah, I think Hades gets very fortunate there. That double stack over towards the A side, really nicely played. Expecting one sure, but the second, no way. So you don't even really get a chance to fight. And bomb dropped in an unrecoverable spot here, so for Exit, he'll just be keeping hold of the AK. And it will be Monte locking themselves in towards map and series point. An elimination on the line for MIBR2. Time and chances running out. Plenty of cash left over, so Exit, I mean, may as well give this a go. We've got absolutely nothing to lose. People are sitting on like 5 and 6K at a bare minimum. But no more room for error for MIBR. This could be them on the brink of elimination early in towards the tournament, especially considering they came in as number 3 seed overall and number 15th ranked in the world right now. That was definitely not an expectation. I mean, they were sort of seen to at least come into it kind of be bare minimum making it towards playoffs, if not even a side that could make a run, and at least in a conversation of some sort of a run. But in their group in particular, I think most people thought they were getting out in the kind of group of Brazil. My expectation would have been like Payne and MIBR if we weren't having that conversation around, is this team ready with Lukowski and the rest? Legacy have had their problems, of course, and, you know, Monte have had their ups and downs too with this Polish court. Yeah, MIBR not showing up. Of course, you saw the pause there and a brief moment for potentially the final time to bring Knack on towards the mic, the coach, and see what he can do to deliver them from a dark, dark spot. Chances are running out.
Yeah, man, some flat faces, maybe just trying to stay in the game ultimately, but you do see from time to time a team still looking in high spirits despite where they're at. 3 rounds in a row is not that deep of an ask, but maybe the day getting off on the wrong foot and just hasn't been their day, really.
It's true.
No damage traded either way. Mid presence from MIBR once again, but again, they are set up on the Monte side. So I don't know if they're going to fully dedicate in. It's more of a bait and switch sort of play, try and get someone moving forwards. You can see Insani is here, ready for aggression to come his way. Oh, he loses his head though. And it's K on the walking peak as well, you know, doesn't even swing into that angle. Really, really clean.
He had no expectation. He just knew what was potentially around that corner. Krasnov, good find too. As Exit drops, as already feels like we're on the brink here. 3 remaining for MIBR to keep themselves alive in this tournament. It looks like it might not be the case. Lukowski might get one with a nade, but Dia dips away just in time. That doesn't cost him his life.
Oh, a bit messy around the smokes here.
Oh,
we will be found with that final bullet. Maybe we are back on, actually, as kills have just trickled in here for MIBR. It's all going to be on K. Felt like we were indeed at the final moment. You said final hurdle, and yeah, they've fallen flat on their face, it would seem. So what has K got for us? Plenty of money available here for this CT side. Why not give it a try? Ooh. But yeah, he just reveals himself a bit too early. Will go down. So MIBR with an unlikely round there. Certainly not impossible, but they convert for 10. Problematic. Very, very problematic indeed. Nervous nail biting on both sides, it would appear.
Yeah. And Dia and Hades both are just shy of 1K in the back pocket before going in towards that round. So maybe a little bit of a concern about what level of a buy they're going to get. We're not going to see an orb. We don't have Lost Bonus built up in that sense. So it might be a little funky in terms of what we get. Yeah, we're actually just not going to go for the investment here. So double MP9, a few upgraded pistols. Still a scary round, but it is basically one gun round being the difference between Monte winning out the map in the series and potentially overtime on the cards. Lucalzi, he's heard a couple of steps, but he's gone above it. But thankfully, Insani's there to bail him out. It was looking dicey. K at range with a 5-7. How he's got away with that, I have no idea.
Open angles here being abused by MIBR, Lucalzi in particular. I don't know, Doc. I would have bought. I would have bought here. I would have bought here, and then if you lose one or two early, you save, and then buy in the next.
Yeah,
that would be my move.
That's pretty common these days as well, isn't it?
This feels a bit too safe. This feels like you've gone. It's 12-10. We can't take. We have to play super safe, and it's putting a lot of pressure on that next round, and then you get like a full reset. So you're playing for a game that MIBR want, right? You're playing to give them rounds, and I think that. For me, I really would have bought there. We'll see how this pans out.
Is maybe there's a bit of kind of desperation for the AWP out.
Yeah.
Right? And that
if they've got a plan for the AWP, I'd like that. But
yeah. Because they will have enough money now, I think, if I'm right in saying. I'm just looking across, and I think, 2.8K, 3K as well for K, so they can. I think they should be able to get the AWP in play here, which at least is something, but they've got enough plan around it. I think you're right. And of course, Nora are going to enter in towards the fray. Final round of regulation, and it's all for survival for MIBR. Very weird game we're getting here. It does feel like Monte have slightly tapered off. They're just gone a little quiet, a little muted in the server, and maybe a bit of tilt starting to play in as we see with Demka there. Let's see. We don't even actually have the AWP out. So they went for that save just for rifles in the end. Yeah, like you said, why not just take a gamble in that previous round? Even if it was just 1 or 2 hero rifles.
Game plan is here, the A main push. Not going too deep, not going full aggression, but at least they've got control of A main. It is a very different setup here from Monte. They've been 3-1-1 for quite a while. We're now 2-1-2. What is the plan?
They're trying to poke and prod here, aren't they? Towards 8. Just testing the waters. Lurk smoke, Molly. MIBR aren't biting though. They're not falling in towards any of the traps. They are playing very patient themselves. And they're still leaving both sides, in all fairness, quite a lot of util left over. The main thing for Monte, I think for me, is just denying this bomb going down. I think if he gets in towards a post one, that's where the nerves are going to kill them.
You have to play the game here. Ignore that scoreline.
Yeah.
I think both teams are succumbing to their own worst enemies here. Very, very slow round out from MIBR. We've got 35 seconds, essentially 30 seconds now left to get something going. The bomb is nowhere near a bomb site right now. They're trying to bait things out, but the A main hold is not faltering here. Demka the first. Bomb goes down. 20 seconds left. I would say, yeah, just bail. Just honestly leave your teammate out to dry and try and make that work. Meanwhile, over on B, space being taken. Hades will get dropped. It's all onto Demka all alone. It looks like the overtime could be locked in here. Demka's got to save the day. A 2-piece for him, and man alive, that is a wild round from MIBR.
Oh, yikes.
I think they are set to make it work, though, with that nade damage. Surely not for Demka here. He's got a 180 this. I think they're set up and ready to go. Exit towards Glyphs will take him down, and we are indeed for the overtime. And you can see a bit of energy coming through as they try and keep their heads, but it's flipped now. It has absolutely flipped. MIBR are the ones in control.
Yeah, what a recovery as well. 9-3 at the half, and it felt like we were just done at that point, where we were just saying this is the beginning of the end, but the recovery is absolutely immaculate out from MIBR. What a T-side from them. Both sides, both sides are excellent T-sides, but I think in particular, the really worrying thing for me is Monte had no consecutive rounds on the CT. Not even one. They were all flash in the pans. And it's never a good sign, is it? Never at all.
Oh, man. It makes such a difference, though. Like, I've been obviously watching the players quite attentively.
Yeah.
Do love the human angle. And yeah, they were a little flat, a little in the timeouts, just sort of like looking down, you know, I'm not talking, so whatever. Just and sure, they're going to be listening, but are they taking it all in? And then immediately we've got, like, you know, much more energy, talking a lot faster. Right, here we go. We got to do this. Yeah. Let's pull out this round. Let's, you know. So it has completely flipped. And this is an area within which Monte will struggle. We talked about mental sort of difficulties for this team, for players. Diha's been one very, very recently that has talked about these kinds of struggles. So they have to refine themselves in the overtime. Insani will open things up here. Hades up close on the AWP. Good timing for it, but not ready for Insani round the corner. Nearly a two-piece from him. Not quite 4 versus 3. MIBR with a slim lead.
Yeah, and Insani's so low, and Krasnal's so alone. He does not know where to play. I do like this one, though. If he just goes for a contact... I'm going to say, if he went for a contact swing towards water, he actually has good timing there on exit. But exit repositions, and he'll join up with the pack. Bogdan's Law again abided. Insani doesn't mind secondary AWPing, regardless. So in this spot, they don't really care about him being the one wielding the big green. Good reposition from Diha, though. He'll now at least support Krasnal in this spot, and he's actually spotted one out. Might be something here, but then head ripped off his shoulders. Not what you want to see. Good swing for Krasnal. Needed to, and he gets it. So it gives a chance out for Demka. Couldn't pull off the 1v2 in the previous round. How about this one? Insani's low exit. Trying to kind of keep him alive as this bomb goes down in the 1 versus 2 setup. Demka, they know he's out. They know he went in front of the Molotov. And now they can just play at range. He's got no util to work with. He has to take aim drills. Surely no chance. If he had a smoke, maybe we're talking about something here. But unless there's one on the floor, I don't think he's got an opportunity. He might just go for a tap and hope that somebody swings, but it will work in favor of Insani. MIBR draw first blood here in overtime. Monte are crumbling. If they lose from a 9-3, oh, there's going to be a lot of stern words on the desk, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if they do lose this, we won't see the desk for a little bit, in all fairness.
True.
So, yeah. But it could be the key turning point. We talked about a good number of rounds. MIBR have done very well to get them under their belt. It is a fantastic look from them, and again, just proving what they are capable of. This is finally the team that we wanted to see, and that coming into this tournament felt like we indeed should have seen from the get-go. But they are familiar with the lower bracket runbacks. Double up setup here from Monte.
Yeah, not often you see it either. He comes over, just doesn't do anything to drop, but a bar baiting out his spam, which is an information gather at the very least. And take that. And MIBR just feel completely revitalized, though. What a showing from them to get back in towards this spot, and now to be in for the lead as well. They got 2 for 1 on T side in overtime. Who knows? Who knows? They might just have a little bit of a stronger showing on that CT with confidence on their side.
Utility rolling forwards here from MIBR. Looks to be another B lean. They have really wound it down again. Smoke comes over the top. Krasnal ready to go, but there's 3 players. They will be smoked off, just getting ahead of those smokes quite quickly. Ooh, Krasnal spotted. Shot in the back. Maybe gave up Dark ever so slightly, but we still have this AWP here from Hades. Something to get through. There's no Molotov to draw him out. He will draw himself out, though. Nade doesn't quite make it. The bodies get in the way. Diha trying his best to just gain another one before the bomb goes down. Demka here with the secondary AWP, getting cheeky, misses the shot. It's all down to Diha. 1 versus 3. They know where he's at. He doesn't have a kit available. Surely got to be one in close proximity. Smoke falls. They will take him, and MIBR, they are looking unstoppable right now.
No way. No way are we seeing Monte's choke. We spoke about this. Monte, you know, and even that previous 9 core, they had their problems when it came to closing out games. We always saw it in the Tier 2, Tier 1.5, but we thought when this new side came together that all these issues would have been fixed. And it felt like off the back of map number 1 that they absolutely were. What a recovery, though. What a showing from MIBR. Far from dead, and actually look absolutely like the favourites take the map now. I mean, the way things are going, Monte are in serious trouble. Hence why they call for the pause, but already going 2 for 1 on T-side rounds. I'm already pretty happy with what I've seen out from MIBR. It actually might alone be enough.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, in this round in particular, I think there's some unlucky moves. Dihar was spamming that smoke for a long time, and he did bits of damage, but his spray down's just not fully connecting to give them the all-important kill. But yeah, absolutely got to pick up a round here if you are Monte. Trying to change things up. They've been playing inside A main for quite a while, getting a good feel for it, and in this round they're opting to go aggressive instead. Hades respects the fact that they could be out towards middle, so this is going to become a very strange round. You can see K adjusting, ready for the push from middle.
Ooh.
Flash comes in, he does give it no respect and cost him his life. Hoping they were going to go slightly early, not the case. Krasnal then with the FAMAS over on B to hold that down. Dihar also bested. MIBR just ants, you know, absolutely all over, completely unpredictable, and finding success while doing so. This one may well be going to a third.
My God, Monte just can't even hit their shots now. They've completely fallen off a cliff. What a crumble we're seeing here by Monte. Completely felt like something that was more or less impossible. From a 9-3, it even gets to the point where we can even say, like, regardless of how that map 3 goes, we're still going to think about that and say, how did that go so wrong? But it's going to be a flawless first half for MIBR. Demka again thrust into a clutch. He's had 2 1v2s to try and pull off, both of which failed. This time a 1v3. With only 20 points of HP and a Molotov, it is out of the realms of possibility. Sure, may as well give it a go, but he doesn't even have a kit. So best of luck in this one. Molotov towards front plat. Over in jail. Nothing there. Seen off by Safe as well. And MIBR 3 for 3 on T side in overtime. I think Monte feel absolutely dead here. They look 1 foot in the grave already on this map. I mean, they might even be trying to save the mental for map 3 at this point, because I don't see a world in which they get back into this.
It's very possible. I mean, we've got this flip coming, of course. Both teams finding great success on the T side of things. It has been a long time since Monte were here, but entirely possible. What is the move? Do they have anything left in the tank? A long old game for them, and one that I'm sure has been an emotional roller coaster. Early shots not finding anything. Early nades not finding anything here.
A lot of highs and most recently a lot of lows for Monte. Off the back of a fantastic map number 1 as well. 1 minute 15. Hades did take a couple of pop shots in towards lower water. Wasn't really too much to find there. We might see a bit of aggression off the back of those flashes. 1 low, 1 high. Dihar maybe in a bit of trouble here. They're going to come over. He knows one was tempted by the jump up. He could be under a lot of pressure that he might succumb to. Getting spam, but good for the first. Good for the second. Yeah, good work. 1 point of HP. Very fortunate to get away with that second.
Absolutely massive from Dihar. Keeps his cool. He was all alone on an island there. They could not bring any support. They've got to keep the control of other areas of the map that they had. So, yeah, he was left to his own devices. Really plays it well. And with that push, they're going to bail on the A idea. Fake things out towards middle. They've got a deep player in the form of K. It will all be down to drop. The nade is decent, softens them up. Of course, Dihar being on 1 HP, but he doesn't care. He's still shooting, he's still fragging. Down to exit and safe, and I don't know, man. You don't save in the overtimes, but like they're just so far away here. What's the point?
I think with an AWP you probably do, but just because you can't buy 3 AWPs in a row. I think that's probably the one worry for Safe. Thinking, if we lose, well, we've lost this round, but if I die and I then buy an AWP in towards the next round, if I die then, I'm not going to have an AWP in towards the third. Back in 16K overtime, he'd be more than fine.
Well, they were dark days, man.
Dark days, exactly.
CSGO, long games, 16K overtimes, forever.
Ooh, hang on though. Yeah, down goes the AWP. So there's already step 1 of the what not to do plan. An exit should fall in a moment. Okay. He finally gets traded, but Not bad to get away with 2. We'll take that at the very least. Not that it makes too big of a difference towards Monte. Still, map point, MIBR. Monte need to go 2 for 2 in the final 2 rounds, and that's to take us to another overtime. MIBR just one away from the elusive 16 that'll see them this map and on towards Ancient.
Okay, pressure still on. Monte, a lot of work cut out for them, of course. Oh, the early shot from Hades misses. He's looking. He's absolutely gagging for this first fight. He's got a great spawn to work with, but nothing comes his way. Drop's taking half damage. Krasnal not close behind him, but once again, no early frags. Insani holding dark in a somewhat unorthodox way. Nade goes in. Oh, and it gets caught, like on a player maybe? Not quite sure. A lot of damage done from it. And a kill, of course, off the back of it. So this is looking good.
Yeah, fantastic work. It did get caught on Krasnal, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It just tags him in the body and then just lands at their feet. The worst case scenario. Insani's taking damage, sure. Krasnal's dead and Demka's below half HP. It's really not where Monte going to want to be in this spot. And now they've got no in-routes towards the site. They've got no real information of actually how many players are towards any of the sites or what the setup even remotely looks like for MIBR. So they're flying blind here. And they've got to try and do this from a man disadvantage with basically 3.5 guys alive. Yeah, best of luck. It looks like we want to finish towards A, which is actually the right call, especially now that Hades hit that shot. But now they've got to go. The second they find that kill, they know that they're rotating back over towards the A site, and Safe's head to meet them. Good lurk smoke that'll come through as he drops down, but he's met with another smoke towards Donut.
Yeah, they're pretty prepared here. Safe as well is working his way above this smoke. I don't think that it was meant for the site necessarily. Either way, they have to work around it. They've actually pulled back the advantage here, so really well played from Monte to make this a doable, believable round. Hades a big part of that as he keeps it going. Lukowski remains alone and potentially looking for the save.
Yeah, well played. Really well played. Has to be said. Lukowski's only got 2.6k, by the way, heading towards his next round. So this is a little awkward, in all fairness. I think he might have been better off keeping all of that rifle rather than trying to fight for his life at the end, even just getting one and getting out. I think we should be okay for a drop. Unironically, from drop. But hey, you can still see how if you're a little bit laissez-faire in the buys when it comes towards overtime, you can have those financial issues. He does get that drop over, so it is fine. His money was running a little low. Insani. Oh, this is a change-up. I like this. Flash in, but doesn't work. The trade is good, but then Diha answers back. We might have a second overtime on the cards here. Monte, man advantage, on track for that 15th of their own.
Refound their feet, it would seem. Will it be enough? There is a flank in here from Lukowski. Could be devastating. Oh, man. He's hiding. Let Diha cross. And all of a sudden, you've got a big round. But Diha, he's a smart guy. He's a very smart guy indeed. He knows that something is up. Timing! Doesn't get it, but I mean, he reveals himself. That's kind of the big thing, I suppose. Is there a gap now that Monte can work with? They know that they've been found out. Oh, this is worrying. Yeah, going in through dark, but you got that rotation from Safe pretty quickly. And this is such a weird way to attack. There's so many smokes, guys. Smoke something off. For the love of God. It will be Temple. They just plant with the space that they have, but the big one, like I say, is Safe here, who I don't know will be expected. That was awfully close. I think Bullet whizzes past Krasnal. Like, okay, I'm out of there. Yeah, fair enough. That was a bit close. I don't want that angle anymore. You can have it. Flashes over the top. A lot of utility remaining for Monte to keep them at bay. Hades got a full belt, but doesn't really want to untrain at the moment. Great smoke on main, and that will keep 2 locked away. More Molotovs, they smoke in, they flash in, trying to panically hit the bomb site. It's looking a little close. There's not a lot of time left, of course, and the AKs will get it done. Monte take us to another overtime.
Oh my God, how have they stayed alive? I thought Monte were dead. And absolutely somehow out of nowhere. I mean, this is all about the T-sides. That was the same point of regulation, the same point in overtime. T-sides, immaculate. CTs, not so much. It really comes down to, can any of these teams get just one round on CT in this overtime? And that might just be enough to net them the map. Whether that's Monte being the series as well, or MIBR staying alive and pushing this towards a third, but at the very least a couple of smiles over towards Monte. Something we haven't seen in a hot minute. Of course, Monte will kickstart overtime number 2 on that favored T side. They're pretty happy. A shot from Hades. Might want to get a little bit of aggro behind this. He might keep pushing and it'll cost him his life. Maybe that wasn't needed, and I think Sensei, it definitely wasn't needed. But at least Cresta will answer back, and Diha, one of his own. Lucalzi on the quick flank. This is carnage. Chaos in the server, as Lucalzi's got perfect timing, but then he overextends and costs his life. What is happening?
Oh,
everyone's fighting, no one's thinking, and this round is still on for both sides.
Yeah, bomb's a little tight there as well. If it was, you know, an inch further around that corner, would have been a dangerous pickup. Slight bit of spam damage comes through. Ooh, a wide swing round from Drop. A crazy move from him too, despite the low HP. K left to do it all. He may well have just found the angle, but no, Exit gonna find it. And there's the MIBR CT round, the elusive CT round coming in. You can see as well, a bit excitable as they get the fist bumps in prematurely. Goodness me, what a crazy round, man. Just needed a moment, just needed a voice to be like, yo, let's chill.
Yeah, I'm going to say it, that was a terrible round of Counter-Strike. That was probably one of the worst rounds of Counter-Strike we've seen so far from both teams. Just absolute chaos. All they needed was, you know, the second Hades falls and there's the trade from Krasnal, just pump the brakes. Just take a moment to slow down. Right here, just pause for a second. But then Lucalzi comes in behind. He was being held for at one point and they just turn around and completely commit towards his B play. And then K, he's low there, so I don't even really blame K all too much. He had like single-digit HP in that spot. Nade Stack does decent damage towards Exit, but then it's him who opens things up. Oh, and they've pulled out for Krasnal as well. We shouldn't be pulling out the knife there. That gives Drop a freebie.
I don't know, man. This is so strange. It kind of happens as well when you get deep into the overtimes. It feels like the players are just like, get me out of here. I don't, you know, really want to play anymore. Let's just win or lose. Like, it really is a weird kind of energy that they have. Diha, though, he's definitely staying in it. That cost him way too much HP. Hades has made his way in. They won't know that Lucalzi is low at all. He opts to drop back. Maybe completely giving up the bomb site. Is it briefly? Is it entirely? Don't rightly know. Safe is pushing forwards. Molotov comes in. Hades is like, hello?
Yeah.
Anyone home?
I can't lie, dude. I feel like this is going map 3. Monte looks so panicked. They look so flustered in the way they're playing. You know, there's good pace changes and tempo shifts, and then there's this relentless aggression, which sometimes is great in certain situations. This is not one of them. They look very, very panicked. And that's where MIBR, I mean, they're used to playing in a bit of the chaos. But, in all fairness, Hades, you know what is, and he might actually get a chance here.
This is tough. This is very tough. Hades trying to find the moment, and he will get it. Big shot from him. Lucalzi half HP, hardly any time to go on this bomb. He will indeed get the frag, but he has to bait out. Diha not going to do it in time. So Monte, that's a pretty big one to win. It felt like, I think as well, what you were sort of touching on is that, okay, they're going to potentially lose this round, pretty probably lose this round. And then the CT build-up for MIBR will be enough. Now I feel we're still up in the air.
Yeah.
To be honest, third map, maybe, but overtime timeout. You know, remember, you got to just
slow it down.
Relax.
You get a new timeout every overtime as well, right? So they both used overtimes in the first OT. One to start off overtime, and then one, I think, just after the halfway point. Both sides are just playing relentlessly quick.
Okay, here we are.
Thank God. Just back to a bit of a default. Just slow things down. Monte, so pressured in some of these situations. I mean, credit to MIBR. It feels like they're breaking the mental a little bit. Surely we're not sending Diha in alone here.
Diha has been cooking in the overtime, to be fair.
Oh my God, this is so risky.
A lot. Oh, yeah. That's unlucky.
I don't like
that. Wild move. Wild move. I mean, Monte, this is one of the things as well. They won the previous round. They come close in the one before that. They're like, okay, maybe our crazy ideas are kind of working.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have full view of what's going on and how well read they've been. So 5 versus 4. MIBR in prime position. Krasnal, though, he's just crept in completely silently. Diha was the distraction. Krasnal is the main man of the round, it would seem. And Demka to back him up. It's absolutely insane that Monte make that work. I think they've just, you know, confused the ever-living hell out of MIBR enough and at the same time thread these guys in dark. Because this is it as well, right? Like, D-Hug goes in as a distraction, but what usually happens in dark? It's like you make a lot of noise, you throw the nades, you try and, you know, back them off and then find a keen swing. They've just walked in, which is completely against the usual idea of how to play that area. And you can see, like, D-Hug's like, whatever, man, I don't know how we won either.
It does feel as well for Monte like the strat book is completely done. They've used everything now, and it is... You know, I know we've kind of banned the word, but it's completely going off vibes. It's just like, whatever I feel this moment, I'm just going to go for. Because some of these plays, they don't even really make sense, right? Like, you know, we're not even, they're not coordinated. It doesn't feel like they're commed very well. It just feels like, all right, I'm just going to go for this and see what happens. And, you know, in Dia's case, sometimes it's really worked and other times it hasn't, but absolute chaos. I mean, maybe a prayer here as well, but, you know, really thinking quite hard. But for MIBR, it is still them at a disadvantage. But the one real positive off the back of, you know, a chaotic first half of OT number 2 was MIBR got a CT round. That's already the one thing we wanted. And we said that even might be enough. So it's just a question of, can Monte do that and some? Can they get 2? Because even 1 eluded them.
Yeah. Difficult to say. Difficult to say. Monte.
What a game.
They start things off right, it would be a fantastic position to be in. The Counter-Strike continuing here. Are we going to get more? Well, I suppose whatever happens, we will have a few more rounds, but is it going to be another overtime? Is it going to be a third map, I suppose, is the question that I'm asking.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm looking at who's going to get the, you know, fatigue first. Who's really going to run out of energy?
It did feel like Monte were maybe the team that had done that. You know what I mean? They were playing in a way that was like, just like, playing not to lose, but not necessarily the most thought out rounds.
Like preserving energy, just whatever's left kind of thing. And then they've got some mad second wind in that previous half.
Yeah, literally. And it was a timeout again before we get into this second half. And Naura on the mic, I think, again, sees it happening with some of these younger players, with some of these much more mentally affected players. Less strength in the Mind Palace, so to speak. Hades not quick enough to hit that one. Completely fair. He goes in for the fight, however, and the trader at the back in the form of Drop had a nade out, so he couldn't really do much with the over-aggressive angle from Hades. And there he is in the OT, coming up big to potentially give Monte their first CT round here of the entirety. Looking good, looking very good indeed. Safe, the only one left, 1 versus 4, 18 on the horizon. 19 not too far behind it, one would assume.
Okay, once again, map series point over towards Monte. But at the same time, there is still that potential of another OT. You can't count out MIBR just yet. We know that Monte need 2 of these CT rounds to see it off. Great work from Hades. And that's a lot better, right? I think the issues that we had, especially in that first half of OT when MIBR went 3 for 3, was that Monte was just playing so far back. No one was fighting. No one was taking, you know, calculated gambles. I like that from Hades, especially even, you know, the Molotov comes down, he plays out in front of it, even though he ticks, and then he goes in for the second as well. That's where someone just backs himself. And I think Hades realizes this has been scrappy. This is all over the place. I'm just going to make a difference here. I'm not going to calm this. I'm just going to fight and see what I can do. And if I fall, then I can make, you know, plan B. But I like that. He has, this is my plan A. I'm going to try and deny mid control, and it works well. Lukowski's gone for something quite insane because they're holding you two. They're holding a Molotov. And somehow Lukowski doesn't get the kill there.
Yeah, super dangerous, right? But it very nearly worked for Monte. They indeed are going to try and get it here. Drop with the double spray down from the heavens, man. Oh my goodness. Where has he pulled that from? Hades suddenly finds himself alone. He still looks crisp. He still looks to survive, but MIBR have bought themselves a lifeline.
Whoa, man. Drop. Well played. Leading by example. Whoa, and Hades as well. What is happening in this game? This is Counter-Strike. Maybe not good Counter-Strike, but it's Counter-Strike all the same. And we have the chance of yet another overtime here. Essentially, OT number 3 might be required. We're going one of two ways. Either OT number 3 or it's Monte seeing off the map in the series. It has to be said, you know, if we're just being kind of bluntly honest, you know, map number 1, as commentators, it's quite a boring map. There wasn't really anything in that. It felt completely dead in the water from the get-go. Monte just played brilliantly. And then, you know, we saw the 9-3, and I was in my mind thinking, oh, damn, maybe just more of the same. Maybe Monte just was so much better, and MIBR just don't have an answer here. But, hey, this one's exciting. You can question whether it's good exciting, but at least it's something. And it may still be life left in it yet. MIBR, they're not out of it. Who knows? But at the very least, Monte still have map and series point. They still have that pressure that they can put on the shoulders of MIBR.
Another timeout. We're in pretty deep here. Every word, every play, every shot really, really makes a difference here. Holds a lot of weight. May well have gotten like 2 stacks, to be honest. This feels a little long, but they're also still talking, so I don't think it would have been technical. All to play for then. Monte to close the series out, send MIBR packing. We have seen MIBR pick themselves up after being down and out, knocked to the canvas many a time today. But they are no quitters. Are they going to give us more? Third map, not really solidified for them yet, but at the very least, they could take us to another overtime here.
That's it. Smoke down. Not a play just yet for Exit. It's a bit of util early and towards main. Just going to test it, see what the response is like, if any. Looks like the most they get is just one flash thrown there by Hades. Just trying to keep them at an arm's length. And of course, with the orb, that's exactly where you want them. Molotov does tickle the toes of drops. That's at least something to work on. Krasnal will drop another behind it. And now we're chipping away at the time here. You know, the clock becomes, you know, a friend of the T-Sat at one point, but the latter it goes, it becomes a real enemy. We've already seen MIBR struggle with leaving rounds just a little bit too late. We saw it happen in regulation quite a few times.
Nade doesn't quite make it in towards Dark there. Exit, though, with the cheeky play this round. Lukowski, thankfully, has taken Kai through the smoke, so at the very least, keeping the dreams alive here. Drop trying to play the contact play. Oh, my goodness. It's a lot to get away with. Krasnal expected, but he's ready. And Drop jumps into the angle. Dihar had him spotted here as well. He's the man that they did not account for. But again, the headshots still keep coming. Dihar holds. It's all on Lukowski against 2, and it's not going to happen. Dihar with a hell of a round. And as I said, the man they did not expect will be their downfall. Absolutely incredible stuff across the board from both sides. But unfortunately, MIBR, they cannot make it deeper. They will be the first team knocked out of ESL Challenger Katowice here. Monte, at one point, could have made mincemeat out of them. So at the very least, they gave them a fight, but this is not the MIBR we were expecting.